All right, fellas, let's get right into it. We're going to get into exactly how to stay lean, how I eat to stay lean year round. All right, so here's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, you can't stay lean year round, you can't stay lean. Shut the fuck up, all right? You can stay between 10 to 15. I've seen people stay between 7 to 10. It just depends on your nutrition, how you view nutrition. It's going to be the most important thing, all right? We all know that obviously calories in, calories out matters. Everyone fucking knows that shit. Most people don't follow it. Average person's 28% body fat, even though they know that shit. So let's get into the mentality, the mindset that you need to actually execute eating lean. Because obviously, if everybody knows someone and no one's doing it, it must be a mindset thing, right? So here's the thing. I'll tell you straight off the bat. When you surround yourself with certain foods, that's what you're going to consume. Boom. That's simple. We all know how environment's important. If you surround yourself with lean meats, high protein foods, guess what? Your nutrition is going to be high in protein. If you want to eat high in protein, but all you have is bullshit around you, guess what? You're going to eat bullshit. All right. So it's very, very important. And number one, you realize that. Like a lot of people, for some reason, they do not realize that. They'll be like, man, I want to be lean. I want to eat lean. I want to eat high protein. I ask them what's in their cupboard. All they have is fucking Cheetos. All right. Now, number one thing you want to do is you want to keep that shit simple. All right. Stop overcomplicating something that's simple. When you overcomplicate something that's simple, when you overthink something that's simple, you're going to end up not doing it because you're creating a barrier for yourself. You're making these 2 hour meals, which is going to be a barrier for you because now you have to spend 2 hours, cooking one meal, which anybody, including myself, would just be like, that's unsustainable. I'm not doing that shit. Right. But when you have foods like rice, you got eggs, you got fucking steak, all that shit takes very short time to make. Ground beef, ground turkey. That's what I usually like to make. You can even get microwavable rice. You can get ready to make grilled chicken. Like you guys go to fast food places and then, when you guys start to eat healthy, you're like, well, can I eat that as freezer food? Or can I eat that grilled chicken? I don't know if I should eat that. You get so selective about what you can't eat or what others can't eat when you were eating fast food 24/7, which that's what got you fat as hell. All right. Like I get most criticism about the food that I eat for people who are severely out of shape, which makes no fucking sense. It's like, you can't eat steak, avocado, and eggs. That's so unhealthy. And I'm like, dude, you're fat as shit. You literally eat cookies and ice cream every day. Why are you telling me what to do? All right. But anyways, you have to be more self-aware and you have to realize that the more simple you keep something, the more you'll be able to repeat it. The leanest people I know eat basically the same thing every day, right? I stay around 10% all year round. What do I eat most of the time? Eggs, steak, rice, lean meats, protein shakes, protein bars. It's very, very simple. It's not complicated. The thing is being consistent with it. All right. Because a lot of people are like, it's got to be a macro ratio. It's got to be this. It's got to be that. If you consistently eat high protein, you will reach your goals. All right. And like I said earlier, you got to be very, very aware of what you're eating as far as nutrition. So what I like to do is when I go out, obviously make sure I look at the menu. I can go out and raw dog a menu now and I'll find something healthy on there, but I still like to look in advance to make sure that I'm going somewhere that's super healthy, right? So I have a lot of clients that travel and generally before they travel, we usually hop on a Zoom call just to give them an itinerary so they know exactly what to eat, so they know exactly, where they're going, so they have a plan. Because when you plan something, it's more likely to happen. When you don't plan something, you're going to panic, make a bad decision, and it's not going to happen. So it's super, super, super important that you make sure that you're planning ahead of time and you're aware of what you're eating. Now, grills and steakhouses are always going to have some of the healthiest options out there. That's just how it is. They just have like a lot of lean meats, potatoes, and stuff like that. Also, when you're traveling, you definitely want to grab snacks and things like that because at the end of the day, you always control what you eat on a daily basis. I know I say that all the time, but it doesn't matter what you're doing or how busy you are or your circumstances. You still control what you eat. So the excuse that like, oh man, I had to grab this. No, the fuck you didn't. You just want to be a fat ass. All right. That simple. So stay hyper aware. Make sure that you're looking at places before you go there. All right. No matter where I travel, whether it's Canada, or whatever, wherever I'm going, whenever I'm going, how hungry I am, I'm still going to control what I eat. All right. Simple. Very, very simple. Because if you're already eating unhealthy and then you go out of town and you continue to eat unhealthy, obviously you're going to be out of shape. I know like a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, well, I had to go out of town. And I'm like, yeah, but before you went out of town, you're already eating like shit. So is it really out of town or is it what you're doing on a daily basis? It's your decisions causing you to be where you are. Simple. Let's not go to the next slide. It's frozen. Hold on, let me pause it. All right, we're back. We're back. It's working again. Now, change how you view foods once more. All right. Listen, if you want to be lean, you have to first of all look at food as fuel. Stop looking at this shit as a reward. Stop looking at it as the main thing to celebrate shit. Like it's your birthday and you're so excited because you're gonna eat, 10 pieces of fried chicken, a whole cake, some ice cream, instead of actually celebrating, that you're a year older and you had a successful year. Like that's what you're supposed to be celebrated during the birthday. During Thanksgiving, you're supposed to give thanks, be thankful, and enjoy your family, right? That's why I don't really celebrate holidays because I'm always going to be appreciative of my family and appreciate my family. I'm not going to wait for the fucking holidays to like my family. A lot of people say that they're unhappy and they can't control their attitudes and shit. But once Christmas, I always hated Christmas time for that reason. Not because it's Christmas time, but because people would change their attitude for a short period of time. And I was like, why are you changing your attitude now? Why don't you just always act like this? It just goes to show that most people just aren't self-aware. Like people get happy around the holidays and they're mad the rest of the year. Shit makes no sense. Just like they're like, oh, I love my family during Thanksgiving, and they're shitting on the family the rest of the year. So you have to start to realize that weekends happen every week. That doesn't mean you binge drink, eat like shit, right? It doesn't make any sense to do that. Thanksgiving happens every year. It doesn't mean you binge eat, whether you're dieting or not. But also, if you were to worst case scenario, binge eat for a week during Thanksgiving and you're overweight, it's not that 1 week. There's 52 weeks in a year. All right. 1 week isn't the reason you're fat as hell. All right. It's the other 51 weeks. So first of all, change how you view foods, but also realize that, if you enjoy one weekend here or there, you'll be fine. But the issue is that every time a weekend comes in or around, you're like, well, I just want to enjoy this weekend. And you do that 52 weekends a year. All right. And then you're not where you want to be. Weekends easily, and I mean easily, destroy all your goals very easily. Like it happens to the majority of people. It's like, yeah, you can lock in Monday through Friday. That's cool. If you eat like shit Saturday and Sunday, it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're The Rock. It doesn't matter if you're Jay Cutler. It doesn't matter if you're Ronnie Coleman. You're gonna get fat. You're gonna look like shit. All right. Because the weekend, yes, it's only 28, 30% of your week. The calories people generally eat on the weekends usually includes liquor as well. Literally is either the same amount as they ate the first 5 days or double the amount they ate the first 5 days. Right. So that's not going to get you to where you want to get to. All right. And people who say, hey, I need to enjoy the weekend, it's all about balance, they're usually fat as hell. All right. Now, if you get to your goals and you're trying to maintain eating pretty lean during the week and then eating more freely with some restrictions still, but eating more freely on the weekends, you'll still be lean, you'll be fine. Like, for example, right? If I were to eat like 2,000 calories per day, if I was trying to maintain and I'm eating 2,000 calories Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I eat like 3,500, on Saturday and Sunday, throw in some chips and candy in there, I'll still be lean, right? Because I'm maintaining. And there's balance, there's structure. When you do not structure and you do not track what you're going to do on the weekends, you're going to binge eat. Like most people eat good during the week. Like I said, they drink liquor, they eat pizza, they eat cookies, and they're like, yeah, it couldn't be that bad. It's 5,000 calories every single time. All right. All right. One more thing. You got to realize, guys, that bad habits are going to take time. Listen, we spent all this time developing these bad habits. We spent years, decades developing these bad habits, thinking a certain way. And then when we try to overcome them, when we spend 2 weeks trying to overcome them, we're like, yeah, it's impossible. Nigga, you only gave it 2 fucking weeks. All right. Sugar is a serious addiction. So overcoming it is going to take time. You have to start replacing that shit, right? Like when you have those sugar cravings, you're gonna eat these or you're gonna eat some Halo Top. You see what I'm saying? Until you start viewing food differently to the point where you realize that a lot of times your sugar cravings are really just you looking for dopamine hits. All right. If sugar wasn't addictive, then obesity epidemic wouldn't exist pretty much. All right. So give yourself some time to overcome habits. When you fail once or twice, don't think that this shit's over because it's really not. The only time it's over is when you're like, oh man, this is hard. And then you quit for good. But if you fail and you're like, I'm going to do better next time, you're fine. All right. Chill out. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't yell at yourself. Don't cuss yourself out. Just give it time. All right. Cheat days. Here's the thing. The word cheat day should not be something that you're even uttering if you're above 20% body fat. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The only way to get above 20% body fat is when your base diet looks like a cheat day. All right. Your base diet is cheat days every single day. All right. Majority of people spend 5 to 10 years. Look at your high school classmates. I look at my high school classmates. Majority of them spend the past 10 years having cheat days. Like that was their entire diet. All right. So in order to offset that, they're going to have to lock in and eat good until they get to, a certain body fat percentage. And they're like, all right, I need I need a mental break from this diet for like a couple of weeks, nothing crazy, eat at maintenance, right? But you're still not having a cheat day, like all out cheat day where it's like, oh, I can eat whatever I want to. Like If you're not lean, it's just not going to work. Like if you're, let's say you've been dieting for about a month, or you've been changing your lifestyle for about a month, and you went from 30% to 25%, and then you have an all-out cheat day, right? And you just ate all the foods that you've been eating for basically the past 10 years. Not only will that affect you mentally, it's literally going to spiral you out of control because that's the foods that you were used to eating, and you haven't spent enough time away from those foods, all right, to actually make this new habit a habit. It's just like if you're given, like if an alcoholic spent a month detoxing and, not drinking, and then you're like, you know what, bro, to celebrate, let's take 10 shots of vodka. And you give them 10 shots of vodka, they're back into it. They feel like they failed themselves, and they're like, well, this is my destiny. I guess I'm just going to be a drunk all the time. And they go back into that old identity. That's the issue with cheat days. All right. Now, obviously, this is going to apply differently for everybody. If someone's like 10% body fat watching this and they have cheat days every weekend, then that's fine because they're probably eating lean during the weekend and they're eating, cheat day on the weekend where they're a little bit more free with their meals, stuff like that. But if you're super out of shape, you have a long way to go. You had enough cheat days. You shouldn't be like, I deserve a cheat day. No, the fuck you don't. If you deserve a cheat day, you wouldn't be 80 pounds overweight. All right. That simple. Now, how to eat to stay lean, guys. Very, 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 very simple. Let me summarize it for you. Like I said, I keep it very simple. You should see Whole Foods. It's really not that deep, right? A lot of people, when they see my meals, they'll criticize it or they'll say, well, you don't have this, you don't have that. Well, I clearly have enough to be lean and you fucking don't. All right. So the thing is, it's not supposed to be complicated and crazy. That's what you keep telling yourself so you don't have to start. You keep telling yourself, oh, I need to eat, a salad 3 times a day and I need to have, every vitamin and mineral every day. Like it's not that deep. If most people were to just eat kind of good and in a deficit, they get lean as shit. Like that is that simple. It's really that simple. So eat more whole foods. Keep your nutrition simple. I don't want to see all this, all these crazy recipes. You're not gonna last on that stuff. Stop letting food control you. Make it a lifestyle change, not a temporary change, all right? Don't do this shit for 1 day or 2 days. Make it a lifestyle change. And of course, follow the 90-10 rule, as you get closer to lean. If you're just starting off on your journey and you have a lot of weight to lose, then really just lock in, right? But realize if you do have a day where you mess up, realize that what you do 90% of the time is going to dictate your results. All right. 90% of the time will dictate your results. Very simple. All right, y'all. If you're locked in, you're ready to lock in, you're ready to get lean, you're sick of being fat as shit, you're sick of your stubborn belly fat, you're sick of not being aesthetic, link is in the description. You know the drill, man.